Although I've been watching porn since I was 8 years old. Fuck, that's so funny. I only started to quit last year, and every single time I tried to quit, I relapsed. And over so many times of relapsing, I realized one thing. It hurt so much more to relapse than when I was watching porn every day, not even thinking about it. By the end of this video, you are gonna learn a deep dive on why you keep relapsing on porn and some tools that you can use of how to get out of it. After fucking Mike Tysoning my meat since I was 8 years old, I finally learned that porn was bad when my ex-girlfriend broke up with me. I went through one of the worst 3-year-long depressions of my life, and the breakup was just the cherry on top. It really put me in that fucking demon arc, you know? And one big part of it was learning the disadvantages of porn. I was scrolling online and my entire feed became all these Andrew Tate masculinity videos about how not to be a weak man, and that the reason that I got dumped was because I was weak. And I would always see in these videos that one of the biggest signs of weakness was porn. And what was interesting was I used to hear that all the time, and I would just laugh at the guys that talked about NoFap. Because in my mind, growing up, porn was fantastic. We would laugh about the scenes, we would fucking make fun of the acting in porn, and me and my buddies, in our group chat, we would literally share the pornos that we were watching at night. Sometimes in the fucking sleepovers, we'd let the boys go bust nuts in the bathroom uninterrupted, and we'd play loud music. But this was different. Because I was so hurt, and because these videos that I saw online were the first time anybody was honest with me, harsh with me, and gave me like a real answer to my problems, I fully believed it. So I vowed on that day that I was gonna quit porn. The biggest reasons I want to quit, besides the fact that I had like this opposite problem of most guys, like most guys bust too quick, I literally couldn't bust. The first 50 times that I had sex in my life, I couldn't even nut. I'd be going in there and it would feel like throwing my hot dog down a hallway, no matter if it was a girl who never had sex before. It didn't matter because I was so used, small dick, and I was so used to this death grip that you would do when you fucking jerk off watching porn, right? I was also used to the visual and like the super loud moaning, and like real sex just isn't the exact same thing as porn. So that was one of my biggest motivators. Another motivation I had was I saw it as a sign of my masculinity. As if I didn't watch porn, I would be better than so many other men, and I would be getting closer and closer to this ideal version of masculinity I had in my head. But the most important why I had on wanting to quit porn was simply to get more women. I figured that if I didn't watch porn and I didn't bust nuts, I would have still such a built-up need to go bust nuts that my body, my soul, my mind would do anything I could to get this release. Maybe eventually I'd go talk to more girls. And it was actually easy as fuck at first. That was because I was on a mission. I wanted to meet more women so bad. I wanted to get over the pain of this breakup and get to my next nut. And truly, even deeper than that, get to feeling love again. I was relentless. It was my purpose. And I was proud of like every single day that I was on NoFap. I would count that shit. I would literally make ticks in my journal until one day, about a month and a half after, almost 50 days of not seeing any porn. Anytime I would even scroll online and I would see like a chick with like half her tits out on TikTok, I'd fucking switch off the app. I was so religiously in it. I felt lonely. And I fought it off so many other times, but this time I couldn't. I was sad, I was depressed. I just went through a whole week of not getting anything done, and that night, I remember I was like, I just want to jerk off. And truly, I started stroking my shit, and I couldn't even get hard. I had been so used to seeing like these women on the screen to get hard that I couldn't even do it with my mind or my hand. And so I opened my computer, and like it was yesterday, Control-Shift-N, my muscle memory. And I was like, what am I doing? My brain was constantly telling me to stop, don't reset your NoFap streak. PORNHUB.com, boom, enter. And when Pornhub lit up on the screen, I didn't even click on a single video. Boom, immediately, boom, rock hard. Not even looking at a porn video, just seeing the images, just seeing the black and orange colors of Pornhub. It reminded my primitive brain of how much I loved that shit. And immediately I closed the computer and I was ashamed. And over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, I remember it was a constant battle of going on a couple days, resetting the streak, watching the porn, stopping for a whole month, and one lonely day I couldn't control it until just eventually I learned enough self-improvement tools of how to stop myself from relapsing, built up enough of a why, which is what we're going to talk about later in this video, to not watch porn. And I can safely say since that day, I've had no relapses. And not only that, but I've literally had people like these asshole douchebags that I met in LA visually show me porn and it not affect me like that. The biggest reason you relapse. This is something that nobody else on this fucking self-improvement YouTube space is gonna talk about because it doesn't sound cool. It's a little spiritual. You gotta really like care about this topic and be open-minded and like kind of like a smart, more mature person to understand this point. But it's you have a deep-seated lack of love in your life. Now let me explain. You've heard this so many times in my previous videos, but as a child, before your brain is developed, we learn languages just like that. Whatever your native language is, I'm sure you don't even remember how you learned it. And that's the exact same for human attachment. Love is a language in and of itself. So if you learn these toxic, bad patterns of love from a very young age because your parents didn't meet your needs as a child, or the people around you at a very young age were just simply assholes, your brain starts to interpret all those things as your fault. Even if you consciously know it's not, you subconsciously think all the wrongdoings that happened to you when you were defenseless as like a little baby was your fault. So as humans, the unfulfilled needs that are not met as children, we later in life try to cope and meet those needs through external sources. And since porn reminds our brain of one of the most fundamental intimacies, love, and one of the fundamental needs is also love, and because porn is so easy to access nowadays, that becomes a huge default for a lot of young men who lack a deep sense of love in their life. Now you may think, I don't lack a deep sense of love. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you don't have love in your life, but it could even be as simple as like you as a very young child, your parents worked so many jobs that they didn't have time to come back and see you, or you had a parent leave when you're a young kid, that you just perceive that as you not deserving love. So you go try to look for external factors because it's just not something we're taught. We're subconsciously taught these languages of love and attachment through our parents as kids because it doesn't make any money. The school system doesn't teach us things like this. They don't teach us of how to meet our unmet needs. So the solution to this is to develop self-love. Oh, no shit, Damon, this is fucking easy. Remember this quote: self-love equals self-pride equals self-discipline. That means to build self-love as a man, you must be proud of yourself, of what you're doing. And to be proud of ourselves as men is we have to be disciplined on the mission that we have. So it doesn't matter what it is, and I will always suggest to start small. Whether it's to run your first 10K, or make your first $10,000, or simply get through your first 3-minute meditation practice. Set that goal and be unrelentingly disciplined at going toward what you can be disciplined at. So you can't guarantee yourself to make that $10,000, but you can guarantee yourself that you can work every single day for 10 minutes on it. Set a small goal, and that small goal will always become a big goal. That is how you build self-love, is answering the promises that you promise yourself. Don't promise yourself something if you cannot deliver. The second why, you're programmed to. Maybe you weren't busting nuts to Riley Reid on a screen when you were 8, but you've probably been watching porn for a long time. I mean, like, let's be honest, that's why you clicked on this video. Like any habit, good or bad, literally imagine something that you do every single day that you kind of like doing. For some of you, it might be working out. For some of you, it might be taking a hot shower at night. Think about that. That's something that you do every single day that is just easy for you to do, is innate. You got it? Now imagine if you couldn't do that anymore. Even if it's a good habit, it's gonna be a scary thought and a huge shift to your personal dynamic when you get rid of it. So the solution to that is, one, don't feel bad that it's hard. Don't be angry at yourself that it is tough, because it is. It's been programmed in you for so many years. Yes, you made the wrong choice or the bad choice to start watching porn, but you can't just hate on your past self. The only thing you can do is just improve the present so your future self can be proud. And from experience, from quitting 13 years of porn, or 7 years of nicotine addiction, from beating anorexia and obesity, you can change your bad habits. You do it by repetition. For example, if you're lonely one night and your default is to go watch porn, here's a 3-step example of great progress to make to stop relapsing on porn. Imagine yourself at night. It's a lonely night. You've been on your nofap streak for 30 days, but then you're scrolling on TikTok and you see like one of those like promiscuous girls. You know she has an OnlyFans. You click, oh yeah, she got an OnlyFans, and you don't know why. You can't control your thumbs. You're like, I haven't done this in 30 days. Oh god, I hate myself. And you're typing in to Internet Explorer like her own, like that girl's at plus leaked, and you hit enter, but then your safe search is still on, and then you click images, and you're about to click to disable the safe search so you can see her lewd image. But just having those thoughts, like the first step is just having those thoughts of knowing that this isn't good for you. And the second step is just stopping yourself, just stopping that moment. I'm not saying it's not clicking on it, but taking a pause, a physical pause, and not doing the action. Just for a second, just allow yourself, just tell yourself, instead of I'm gonna quit this, I'm gonna delete this, and I'm never gonna click again, to I'm not gonna click for the next 10 seconds. And you don't. And the more you can do these steps, the more you can get to the third stage, which is eventually just putting it down. The small reps done with a lot of repetition will finally turn into the bigger reps. The third reason why you keep relapsing on porn, it's easy. It's every single place that we look. Nowadays, everything is on the screens. I don't even have to explain this to you. But you're scrolling online, you're looking at educational content, you're looking at videos like this, an ad pops up. You've now dove into the realm of self-improvement and becoming the Giga Chad version of yourself. Your Instagram Reels goes from all these degenerate, horny people to these messages of masculinity and stoicism and becoming a good, healthy, strong, loving man. And Instagram wants your attention back. They want you back on their circuit, so they slide a quick little OnlyFans model. And the solution when things are easy is to make them hard. Pun intended. By that, I mean fill your day with discomfort. It is imperative not only to us as men, but us as humans, that if we want to evolve, we have to go through discomfort. Physical, mental discomfort, meditation, cold showers, hard workouts, all the stuff that we keep talking about in these videos. And if you fill your day with that discomfort, it will start to slowly shift your brain that that's your new baseline of comfort. And looking at this easy stuff, well, kind of becomes too easy. It kind of becomes beneath you that you don't even have a need to scroll online anymore. But the worst part of it all, the real reason why it's so easy is because society programmed it in. You could say that there's a war on the traditional masculinity. The society programmed it in. They use tactics like the slot machine tactic, where when you're scrolling online, it gives you only the videos that you kind of want to see. Like, I know you don't logically want to see that porn, but your nervous system, your body wants to see it. They only give that a couple times, so you subconsciously hunt for it. You could say that there's this whole war on masculinity and these big companies want to make you weak, and that could be true. But truly what they want from you is they want your money. And your money is your attention, because every single second that you're spending giving it to these corporations, staying on these apps, you're staying on Pornhub, is a second that you take away from being more present in your life, building the success that you want, and taking that money away from these big companies. These people who control the world like the most powerful, they don't want you to be successful. I mean, if you look around, it's great that we have these resources on social media to see what success looks like and show us that we can reach it, but that's 0.00001% of the population. And look at the rest of us. Look at the rest of people. There aren't many winners because it's set up like that. They don't want winners. And you might be thinking, like, how can people be so like moralless? Let me tell you that those people have the exact same mindset as some of the people making the videos that I'm making right now. Because it's true. I want your attention. It feels good that you're watching my videos. I want to teach you these things. But there's some guys that make these exact same videos that they don't give a fuck. They don't see you as anything but another number that adds to their paycheck. The world it's competition, and sometimes it's brutal, but trust me, best thing that we can do is fight this fight. And you should be fucking proud of yourself for not only how far you've come, but even, it doesn't matter if you've relapsed like 100 times, you are still out here fighting what is possibly one of the hardest fights. It's psychological, it's linked to your deepest DNA, and you're still fighting this. It's a marathon, boys, not a sprint. Don't let yourself stay in the first stage of self-improvement where you keep going over and over in a circle of relapsing and then watching videos about how to quit relapsing and then just hating yourself more and giving these people more of your attention and more of your time and more of your money. If you want to learn about more of the stages of self-improvement in depth, I'm gonna pop that video up somewhere right here so I can steal your attention. But genuinely, thank you boys so much for watching. I love you guys, and be proud of yourself for fighting this hard. Peace.